gentlemen, boys and girls, children and mutants of all ages, welcome to another exciting episode of Game. I'm your host, Big Pimpin J. Yes, all the rumors are true, even that one that we won't talk about that. We live in a day and age where technology is everywhere. Technology is a beautiful thing when it works. One of the problems with technology that's kind of an issue is that there's this whole cloud thing and streaming thing. And I got some guys with me today. We're going to sit here and kind of talk about this whole physical media versus streaming stuff now. Even though they're not endorsing me, I'm a huge Netflix fan. I love the fact that I can hop on, grab a movie pretty much whenever I want to, except when the internet's down. So we're going to be talking about this today, guys. Before we get into this, connect with us. Let us know what you think. See this little banner right here? Connect with us. Hit us up on Instagram. Email us. Get into the conversation. Let me know what you think. We'll pass along these guys. Let me introduce our wonderful panel today. Right here we have the great Daddy Kuji. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing fabulous. How about yourself?
I'm loving that big beard, man. I got some beard envy going on. I'm not gonna lie.
The beard is not too big. It kind of got, a little bit pissed off at me, and it left.
Well, your beard went camping apparently, or did it just stay home while you went out? I'm not kind of sure.
It has a mind of its own sometimes.
Well,
Comes back. Sometimes it's drunk, bloody. I don't know what the heck it does sometimes. It's gonna punish me now.
Ladies, be careful. The great Daddy Kuji's beard is on the prowl. And to my left, you can see the man, the myth, the urban legend, the movie maker himself, the mighty Megashawn. How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
I'm still breathing, so I'm not complaining,
There you
man.
go. And if you did, who'd listen?
Look, all zombies apparently turn into Kenshiro speed, so we'll talk about that later, guys. So, guys, we're talking about this whole digital media versus streaming versus having a physical copy. I know you guys are huge gamers, huge collections. We've talked about this. Guys, let's talk about this. Game on.
Well, I'm not on the fence. I see it both ways. I love having physical media.
Both ways.
I do. Well, I do have it both ways because I set it up that way.
Like I said, ladies, the beard is on the prowl.
When it comes to movies, I have no problem streaming stuff. But like you said, when your internet's down, which happened to me this last week, you get nothing. You have your physical media, but if you don't have power, you can't do physical media. It doesn't really matter. You can always go to that movie. You can always just pop it in, and you're off. But I don't want to buy everything out in the world, and that's where Netflix comes in. It's just like, if it's up there, I want to watch it. Because some movies you want to watch, you don't want to own. There's a lot of movies out there that are good to watch. It's not worth owning.
Big Trouble in Little China?
98%
Exactly.
of the Netflix catalog.
Big Trouble in Little China. If that was the only movie I had, Big Trouble in Little China would be great. I watch that every day. But anyway, but because I have a big collection. And there's some movies that I bought, and I watched them in the theater. I thought they were great, and then I bought them, and then I just didn't watch them at home. And that, it doesn't work out too much, especially when it comes to TV shows. They're releasing boxes upon boxes of TV shows nowadays, and who needs it? It takes up a lot of space. You got on Netflix, it's great. But another thing that you can do is, if you're in the know, is you can rip your own DVDs.
Yeah.
Mind you, buy these things, you rip your own DVDs, put them on your computer, and stream that stuff everywhere. So I like having the physical media for movies. Now, when it comes to games, don't...
Well, hold it right there. Hold it right there. We'll leave Daddy Kuji's bisexuality with the movie thing in a second. Megashawn, let me know what you think about this.
Point is very, very valid. I've been blessed to have power so far amongst these,
it's pretty apparent
amongst all these synonyms. Well, no, sometimes when that happens, whenever it does happen, if I'm nice, if it's a good day, I'll run downstairs, I'll jump on the bike, I'll reach these mitts right into the concrete, pull them out, plug them into the bike. Let's go ahead and power the neighborhood up right quick. We'll give the neighborhood a little
we
bit
have
of
the
power.
Omega Man himself.
But I'm a fan of physical when it comes to the games. As far as movies, I'm old now. I'm 30. I'm getting up there. So running and buying a Blu-ray, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I'm just not that type of collection guy. So, if something does jump off, I have my survival kit, which consists of Commando, Devil in the Blue Dress, and Tombstone. So if the power goes out, or if there's just no cable or the internet drops, I've got something to do.
So your go-to movies are a bunch of movies with a bunch of dusty white dudes.
Devil in the Blue Dress was Denzel. Are you saying Denzel's a dusty white guy?
No, the rest of that cast sure was. I'm sorry to say. So what I'm hearing here is that from a movie aspect, it's always a good thing to be able to stream all this stuff.
Yeah.
But as far as games go, and that's I'm kind of glad you guys brought this up, to know that Sony is now working on a service to try to stream things to stuff. There's a lot of indie developers that aren't even giving you physical copies of games anymore. I think it's a wonderful thing, the fact that if I can save myself $5-10, why would I buy a disc that's going to take up space? There are some people we know who have walls and walls and walls of collections. I wouldn't necessarily call them out, but let's just say that his initials kind of rhyme with Dairy Queen.
BQ.
BQ. And it sounds like a magazine, and he's got more movies than Jesus. But when you get to that point where you start to have all this media lying around, it gets become a hassle. I mean, I've seen your game room. You have more games than I have hairs on my head that don't grow anymore.
And that in lies the problem, is because, younger Daitakuji, Little Daitakuji, when he wasn't so great, used to just buy
He was the good,
video games.
The good.
I wouldn't
The
even
good
say
Daitakuji, he would just,
He
you
was
see
like
a
chibi
game out there,
Daitakuji.
you see video games out there, it's like, oh, I gotta have it, oh, I gotta have it, gotta have it, gotta have it. And you buy it, and you might play it for a hot second, and then you put it on the show. And I think that was kind of my problem back then. That's why I amassed this huge collection, is because
I had the money though. So
you had your money, have money. But now it's like I got these games and I want to play them, and that's where having the physical media is kind of cool, because, for example, I don't particularly know how well Steam works. I do know you download games.
You boil water and eventually steam. Oh, you meant the service. I'm sorry.
The Steam service, brought to you by Valve. You download the games, and as far as I know, they're on your hard drive, and if you delete them from your hard drive, you can still go back
That's exactly
and
how it
re-download
works.
them.
That's pretty
But
It is.
I believe Steam will be around forever, because it could be. Just saying, it could be around forever.
But
it could not be around
along those
forever.
lines with Steam there, I mean, the PlayStation Network does the same thing. There are a lot of stuff that they'll just, as long as you have your subscription service with them,
But-
you have a digital copy
But
of
for
this.
saying that, Xbox Live, as far as I know, and this could happen on PSN as well, games don't stay up there forever. You can't get Marvel vs. Capcom 2 anymore. You can't get JoJo's Bizarre Adventure just got taken off. If you didn't buy it, you can't get it. Now, if you have a physical copy of that game, you could always play it. All the games I own, unless something tragic happens to them, I can always play those games.
Right.
Now, let me ask you this, because you brought up something about running out of power earlier. So let's pretend all your games and movies are in the basement in a flood hits.
Oh,
Wipes out the entire collection. If you have everything digitally hanging out in the cloud, you haven't lost thousands of irreplaceable things.
and that's
True.
also true. That's the pros and cons for it, because
True.
I feared that when the flood came, and thus my flood was only not even 3 inches or anything. So but there's people out there that lost their entire everything that was in their basement, and I can understand where having digital copies like that would come in handy, because then you're right. I mean, your computer might be busted if it's in the basement, but once you get it back up and going, just download the games again.
Now let's take this a step further, even beyond that, because as far as games and movies, we're kind of sitting on the edge. What do you guys think as far as digital media versus physical copies of like books? I mean, there's a lot of comic guys out here who have like huge collections. I mean, me personally, look, I love I do a lot of graphic work. I love having just PDFs of these. Flip right through, grab my little piece, and it's all right there.
Right.
I don't need enough books that you can't bench press.
Of course.
That's also a thing. It
There's a
takes
lot
up
of
too
books.
much space.
Yeah, it does. But I think this, and it's bigger. I'm looking at a big picture. Why just society as a whole has just gotten lazy. So you have children who don't even want to read a book. They're so quick to just.
You've got millionaires
go
who
for
can't read.
Yeah. So exactly. So from that standpoint, I would like there to, like, if you look at Borders, like Borders was technically who was that makes the Nook? Is that Amazon?
Yep.
So Amazon, not on purpose, but well, they could have been. They
Amazon
shut
makes
down
the Kindles.
Borders. Or Kindle shut down Borders.
Yeah.
So I miss being able to go there. You maybe grab some tea and you sit down and read a book or grab a coffee or a juice or whatever. But now it is a lot more convenient. I just go and I download what I need and then I have it. But I do miss the physical content. I don't miss the drive to the comic store and the traffic. But it's just some things should be kept old school.
Final thoughts, man. 20 seconds or less. If you can pick which way, would you rather have a physical copy in your hand, digital copy?
Movies, digital. Video games, physical. Books is kind of a toss-up, just because the whole thing with electricity. Your tablet has no power, you're not reading a book. You can always read a book. You got light, you read a book.
Read a book, read a mega shot.
I would agree. Movies, stream, however I get them, I'd like to have the physical game itself, because again, if your broadband drops or something happens with your cable, you can still just pop that game in and go.
Guys, you know what? I wish we had more time to talk about this, but we are just out. People at home, let us know what you think, man. Are you more of a physical fan like the Mighty Mega Sean, or do you want to have things in the iCloud like the great Daddy Fuji's beard? Before I go, I do want to thank Jiffy Water for providing us with enough sustenance today to get through all this stuff. Guys, hit us up on Twitter. Let us know what you guys think. Connect with us. Let us know what you would like for show ideas. You know, insult us just like we insult each other, because there's nothing here but love. Until next time we see you guys, game over.
You don't believe in the Force, do you?
Hokey religions and ancient weapons are no match for a good blaster at your side.
Culture Junkies!